Hey guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm starting a Patreon at patreon.com/Jomar100101. As you can see on the link on the screen or in the description very below. It's obviously not mandatory, but if you want to go and support me, you can. You can see what perks are available there if you click the link. If you want to support, I appreciate it very much. If you don't, then that's fine regardless. But onto the video. Hello everybody. Today I bring you the Meathead versus the Ghosts story. I won't say much, but I will say that this is one of the funniest and most insane ghost stories I've heard to date. Regardless if it's true or 100% accurate or whatever. Now, enough talk. Sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack or a drink, and get ready for this classic story. My friend who is not in the story tells us about a place to get palm readings. My lifting buddy and I go to get our palms read. We show up to this shady ass place in 10 in the morning wearing our workout gear. The ghost bitches are already admiring. A stereotypical scraggly gypsy woman shakes our hands and seats us at a table with a crystal ball. She asks who of us wants to go first. My Hispanic heritage kicks in and I nope out at the last minute. My friend chads up to the plate. The woman grabs his hand and he flexes slightly. The woman then goes from smiling to horrified. She starts grabbing and studying his hand like a last will. Shit's starting to feel weird, man. She's telling my friend that he has something following him. She then proceeds to ask him if he did any Ouija voodoo bullshit. He says that he smashed a hole in the wall when he was drunk lifting at home and that there was some type of decorative skull behind it that he now uses as a decoration in his bedroom. The gypsy proceeds to let us leave without paying. 30 minutes later, we're at the gym and I'm spotting my friend while he benches. Some dumbass newbie is curling next to us and is, no joke, 6 inches away from us. The dude slips up and swings a 20 he's holding at my friend's head, and he proceeds to throw up the bar and duck just in time. I almost impale myself trying to catch the bar. The newbie is apologizing while my friend gets back up and I'm still shitting myself. I tell my friend that he should go home, but looks unfazed and wants to continue. I leave to my abuela's sister's house to get some sage and silver and go back to the gym and give it to my friend. The next day my friend looks happier than normal. He tells me some shit went down at his house. He says the power was dead even though his bills were paid and the rest of the neighborhood had power. He then heard the rattling of silverware, so he uses the flashlight app to see and saw the silhouette of someone crawl under the kitchen counter. According to him, there's nothing under the counter, not even shelves. But my friend doesn't believe in Ouija shit, so he believes it's an intruder and an animal. My friend grabs his pull-up bar and gets ready for some sweet/fit justice. He yells obscenities while patrolling the house when he sees what looks like a small humanoid thing crouched in his weight room. He gives zero fucks and tosses a pull-up bar out the window. It shatters like a lanky motherfucker's kneecap squatting. The thing is nowhere in sight, and my friend starts considering it's some Ouija shit. He then calls our other friend for advice, which I should say our lifting group has some odd characters. Johnny answers and tells him to burn the sage and carry the silver, and tells him he'll be by with some holy water. When he drops it off, he tells him, "I'll call my grandmother tomorrow to help. She's one of the medium people." My friend sits down on his couch while the house smells like old. While he's watching American Dad on the TV, he looks at the sage and realizes it's dried up and out. He then goes to his pocket for the silver. Fucking melted. Instead of it being warm, it was cold. He begins to see something dart back and forth across the room, while the TV goes off and static comes on. A high-pitched screaming fills the house, and my friend gets mildly annoyed. He walks over to the weight room and smashes the skull against the wall in a fluid motion. Like, imagine walking into a room, tipping over a vase, and then going back to what you were doing. He did exactly that, but threw the skull against the wall. He says the house shook. The screaming got higher, then stop. The lights go off again and he hears numerous footsteps getting closer to him. He tells me he's mildly freaked out at this point. I'm very concerned that he said mildly. He doused himself in holy water and started swinging as hard as he could into the darkness, but he only hears the wind breaking on his fists. He heard the footsteps getting further away from him and screams, "Nuh-uh!" He starts running around his house and swinging in the darkness, fucking up his living room in the process. He swears he made contact with something fleshy a few times and he doesn't remember falling asleep. He wakes up and goes to the gym and tells me this the next day. My friend goes outside to make frequent calls throughout his routines. I ask him if he's trying to get in touch with a priest. He tells me he's been calling his home phone and leaving angry voice messages for the ghosts. He proceeds to tell me he would buy a snake just to flatten it out with a rolling pin until it dies. He goes home again, fast forward a few days, and he looks completely normal. I asked Johnny if our lifting buddy was alright, and he tells me it's disturbing how well he's handling the situation. He says he went to our lifting buddy's house to check on the situation. He feels a presence, but he feels scared. And our lifting buddy walks out of his bathroom naked, wiping his ass with a Ouija board towel. He throws it on the floor and kicks it into the living room, then pours more holy water on it, then takes it outside to burn it. He then asks friend if he's hungry. Sure, he says. And then he pulls out an open Ouija board he bought at a Spencer's and proceeds to use it as a fucking cutting board. And he repeatedly stabbed the cutting knife into the board when he wasn't using it. He breaks the board in half after he's done chopping up tomato and throws it in the trash. He then washes his hand, then pisses in the trash can. And at this point, I think it's disrespecting the spirits too much. They both eat grilled chicken salad, then Johnny leaves. On the way out, lifting buddy goes into the lifting room and puts another crucifix on the wall. I'm putting Jesus on this wall, and I'll be back to fucking masturbate on my bench press while thinking about Lucifer's whore daughter. Johnny calls his abuela that night and she goes into lifting buddy's house with the priest the next day. He says her abuela and priest were also amazed they're disturbed with how lifting buddy is fighting the situation. The priest actually cowered and admired lifting buddy's pissing naked on the satanic Bible he bought at some shady bookstore. He tells the priest that he walks around naked a lot and talks shit about Satans, and the priest just leaves before cleansing. Abuela stays to do her medium thing and tries to contact the spirits. She says it was a group of entities that were very pissed that their shrine was disturbed. Tells her that they have no power since lifting buddy isn't remotely scared of anything they've done. Lifting buddy proceeds to walk back into weight room with a dead snake and the entities scatter like roaches. Check out what I found on the street this morning. Takes a bite out of an apple. A fucking dead snake. He throws the snake on the floor, puts holy water and salt on it, kicks it into the carpet a few times before peeling it off and throwing it into the trash can in the kitchen. At this point, Abuela is what the fucking at this man's either mental strength or ignorance. She proceeds to try to contact the spirits again, and they keep running from her. She's finally able to talk to one, and they said they're scared of lifting buddy. Ghosts are scared of my bulky friend. Abuela asked what could make them pass on, and they said they did black magic to get revenge on some asshole landlord from way back when. Says they have incriminating shit to shame his family with in the wall with the school. Abuela then tells lifting buddy what he needs to do. He then goes into the weight room, makes the hole bigger by throwing a 15 through the wall, and finds a folder with records of some sort. I have to emphasize that I'm not lying about any of this. I swear, and especially this next part. He flips through the papers and then wipes his balls with it. Abuela is absolutely horrified. He crumples them and throws them into the corner of his room and tells the spirits to piss off, then punches another hole in the wall. A total of 13 holes at this point. Abuela says, "May God have mercy" in Spanish, then leaves. She goes back to lifting buddy's house a month later and immediately goes into the weight room. There's more holes than wall, destroyed as hell, but like a halo descending from the heavens, the bench press and squatting rack are still there. She tries to contact spirits and gets nothing. She smiles and asks my friends if he did what needed to be done. Again, gotta say I'm not lying about this. She tells Abuela he uncrumpled the papers and got the address of this bastard. And the papers were only from 60 years ago, so the guy was still alive, just old as dust. The dress of the guys leads to a mansion. He knocks on the door, wearing a Get Swole You Must Yoda tank top, board shorts, pink sunglasses, and a backwards Chicago Bulls snapjack. Johnny said that Lifting Buddy went into a lot of detail about his wardrobe for whatever reason. Some scrawny white guy in his mid-30s opens the door, and Lifting Buddy holds out the papers and asks for the person in the paper's name. "Hey Dad, someone's here to see you. He has documents." Lifting Buddy lets himself in and finds the old man at his studies. "Who are you?" He then notices the papers. "Where did you get that?" Then, the old man proceeds to grab out the papers. The Lifting Buddy punches the old man in the face. Dentures fly out. He says like it was some shit out of a movie. He crouches in his face and sets the old man straight, Sherlock Holmes style. The guy's son runs in and jumps on Lifting Buddy's back. Lifting Buddy stops mid-sentence, lets the guy down, then gut punches him until he hobbles out of the room and pukes in the hallway. He tells the old man to set shit right or he will be back for blood, and leaves. Fast forward a couple of days and various car outside of Lifting Buddy's house. He thinks the old man brought some friends and grabs his pull-up bar and walks outside in his tank top and house shorts. Various families are thanking him and giving him cooked foods, and they thank him for getting their grandparents' properties back. The documents were apparently deeds swindled out by the old man. The family say the whole "we'll never forget you" spiel and leave. Friend looks into the Tupperware and it's nothing but calories and carbs. Cookies, briskets, gumbo. He throws it all away and goes back to lifting in his weight room. He sees the old man's name in the news a few days later, and apparently he was hated by the community for being a dick. Somehow he had only heard about him now. The news doesn't describe how he died. Doesn't know if it was from Lifting Buddy doing more damage than he thought, and the ghost getting their revenge, or natural causes. Hasn't had any paranormal problems since, except for just one. He says he went back into the kitchen for a late night non-cheating snack, and saw full body apparitions. They smiled at him. He says he grabbed an apple, head nodded while taking a bite, and walked away back to his bedroom. He stops halfway and turns around. "Holy fuck, you guys were real?" The spirits fade while smiling and Lifting Buddy goes to sleep. Lifting Buddy still lifts and doesn't say shit like he always does. No one fucks with him since the ghost puncher incident. Abuela admires him every time she's around him, and I think the priest told his priest buddies slash church because everyone admires and cowers in grace twice as hard when they're around him. Again, none of this was made up. No walk the dinosaur tent shit. My friend legitimately beat up a bunch of ghosts.
Definitely elevating for the 966. The ill suicidal libel to take titles and make vital signs, but not like no cancer. Answer, there's no chance to advance to ya. Kuya got blazed through ya. The great super science, applying pressure, I desecrate with double O's and bubble folds while I cut you, bro. I juggle flows that goes ballistic, reminiscent of exquisite cannibalistics and a sadistic doctor. My sick shit, notcha, improper, got